Sotaesan, the founding master of Wan Buddhism, said, "If the gateway of a religion does not elucidate the principle of true nature, then that religion is not a consummate way. That is because the principle of true nature becomes the master of all dharmas and the foundation of all principles." Clearly, Sotaesan is emphasizing the importance of true nature, a term found throughout the scriptures. It can feel difficult to discuss since true nature is not a thing, thus cannot be described with words. I have often wondered if I know what it means and whether I have experienced it myself. However, during the 13 years I've been practicing here, I have made a lot of progress. If true nature is the foundation of all principles, could this progress have happened without it? Is it possible that I and you are more aware of true nature than we realize? A student asked Master Sotaesan, "What was the substance before the myriad things in heaven and earth came into being?" The Master said, "Reflect silently on your state of mind before you ask this question." Again, what was the substance before the myriad things in heaven and earth came into being? The Master said, "Reflect silently on your state of mind before you ask this question." Sotaesan was suggesting that the student's empty state of mind prior to a question arising was that very substance before the myriad things in heaven and earth came into being, suggesting that our emptiness of mind is the substance within which the myriad things arise and of which they are made. That is radical. Our emptiness of mind is the substance within which the myriad things arise and of which they are made. Have you considered that when a thought ends, you don't end? Let's take a moment to confirm this. What do I find between two thoughts? Certainly no things, but not nothing either, since my sense of self remains. As we jump from one thought to another, our experience isn't bumpity, bumpity, bumpity. It is smooth. Could it be that this smooth substance, which remains between two thoughts, is true nature? So simple. I'm not saying true nature ceases when a thought begins, but when we focus solely on the thought itself, we end up overlooking the substance within which the thought is arising and out of which it is made. What can we say about this substance, our essence? Well, in this very moment, in the absence of thought, I am aware. In the absence of thought, there is knowing. I know that I am. I find no object in this knowing substance, this true nature. So true nature has no objective qualities like weight or color. Right now, as I consider this awareness, my awareness, I find no boundaries. My awareness is not bumping into your awareness. It seems spacious. Perhaps the space in this Dharma hall could be a useful metaphor for our awareness. This space feels comfortable. It feels familiar. It feels spacious and contained. It is the space in this room. What would happen to space's understanding of itself if the walls and the roof were suddenly removed? The space would still be familiar, but now infinite. What would happen to my awareness if the walls and roof suddenly disappeared? Wouldn't it still be familiar, my awareness, but now unbounded, infinite? I'd like to share with you 2 episodes where my walls and roof fell away. The first has to do with a persistent physical discomfort, nausea. I don't like it, and when it shows up, I want it to go away. Over a period of years, I began to see an opportunity to stop being against the discomfort and instead to allow it. That made it easier to tolerate. But eventually I realized I was allowing it with an agenda of getting rid of it. So not true acceptance. Then I remembered something can only hurt me if it is at a distance from me. So instead of just tolerating this nausea, I tried moving into it. Once when I was doing that, this question spontaneously arose. What does nausea call itself? I realized, without thinking, that nausea does not give itself a name. I suddenly knew this energy I had been calling nausea did not see itself as wrong or undesirable, and did not like being shunned. In that moment, duality dissolved. 2 things, me and nausea, duality. With that remarkable question, what does nausea call itself? The nausea label slid off, and what remained was just intense energy. Without the label nausea, the separation from an apparent me who had been experiencing that nausea also dissolved. At that moment, me and nausea were one. I experienced this intense energy simply as myself, true nature. With no conceptual framework left to contain it, this energy was free. I was free to be myself without opposition. The energy rapidly expanded. It moved and swirled, pleasurable and alive with the knowing of itself. Then it subsided, and I was left in a state of deep peace and awe. I realized what I had been labeling nausea, believing it to be something separate and unwanted, was actually a caring, wise energy giving me the opportunity to awaken to my own true nature. I saw that the label nausea was the first step of resistance to presence, resistance to an energy that was already present. Labeling, the first step away from true nature, my essence, into duality, into a belief in separation, wrongness, and suffering. I'm not suggesting I found a cure for nausea, but this was such a valuable lesson about true nature and how labels and concepts separate me from it, locking me into duality where I find suffering. The second experience of walls and roof falling away involved emotions. A friend had said something judgmental and hurtful to me. I flushed with emotion, anger, shame, and the filament of fear. This happened 10 minutes before I started my drive to the temple for Saturday service. I thought about not coming, but I'm glad I did. I sat in the back of the Dharma hall to allow these intensely uncomfortable emotions their full expression. After 20 minutes, I saw that victim and blaming energy were at work, blaming a someone who had done something to me. Once that was seen, I relaxed, and fixation on victim and blaming faded. With this fresh air, the labels shame, fear, and anger slipped away. Once again, without those conceptual constraints, there was no resistance to this intense energy which rapidly expanded beyond my body. It became a vast, engulfing love. I realized all those afflictive emotions had been love in disguise. By having the courage to give those emotions their full expression without any resistance, I was allowing them to complete their karmic journey. Through me, they returned to their source of peace and love. As that transformation from fear to love was happening, mind was still distantly present, trying to sell its case for a grievance done to me by my friend. Mind said, "This understanding is incredible, but your friend did say something judgmental that needs to be addressed." That was mind's attempt to grab the driver's seat and re-engage me in fear and contraction. But mind had become a mere vapor trail, just wisps being blown away. So instead of my attention turning back to fear, it turned to my friend. And I was filled with compassion for both of us and gratitude for the gift their apparent judging of me had become. I could even see deep purpose shared by the two of us as one consciousness, not in creating conflict, but in creating this sublime lesson. In the scripture chapter on true nature, there is a story that tells of a group of visitors who asked Sotaesan where his religion's Buddha was enshrined. Sotaesan said it had just gone out, but it would return soon. When some workers returned from the field, he pointed to them and said, "There are our Buddhas." I believe this was his way of telling these visitors to stop thinking of Buddha as an image, as something other than themselves, because we are all Buddhas, right here, right now. What is Buddha? It is true nature, content, fulfilled, complete, unafraid. The thinking mind will object. I can't be Buddha because I'm not feeling content and fulfilled right now, which is true for mind, but not for me, true nature. Nonetheless, with that belief, I can't be Buddha, mind can seduce me into another cycle of searching for true nature, searching for peace and happiness. But where would I look for that which is ever present? How would mind even know if I found it? What would be the signal that that which never left has now returned? A few years ago, I discovered a deeply hidden, shameful belief that I was unlovable. Throughout my life, I had devised myriad ways to sabotage loving relationships. It seemed the world had turned its back on me, but actually, as a hurt child, I had turned my back on the world. As long as that unlivable belief was in place, there was nothing I could do to stop the sabotage. But as that belief has softened and true nature radiates more clearly, my relationships are effortlessly becoming more loving and more enjoyable. Now, when such painful emotions arise, instead of going out into the world, searching for solutions to this pain, like finding someone to love me, I'm learning to be open to these emotions, allowing their living wisdom to guide me inward to true nature, the true source of love. Now I understand, even when my life appeared to be a total mess, Everything I could ever want and more was right there with me. I couldn't see it because I had things backwards. I believed I would be happy and safe once I had created the necessary circumstances. The truth is, once I accept who I am, true nature, and that happiness is my nature, then my outer circumstances will come into alignment with that acceptance. If I wait for logically coherent thoughts to prove the presence of this invisible realm, I will wait forever, for lifetimes. All I could ever hope to be and hope to have is right here, right now. I am my heart's desire, just as I am. I bet you are too. According to Elvis, tomorrow will be too late. It's now or never. My love won't wait.